All right, next up, let's do another spicy team that, all of us think are kind of underperforming. Let's go to Cloud9, y'all. So Cloud9, they're able to pick up 2 wins today. The dominant one over CLG, and they picked up the one yesterday over Golden Guardians, which is one of the other hot teams in the league. So nothing to shake your head about. But they did drop the big one to Immortals. And LS, you said last week, if Cloud9 don't go 3-0, especially against this run of squads, Immortals, CLG, and Golden Guardians, we should sound the alarm bells. After seeing it, Immortals get the win, and it was a scrap of a game, just straight up fighting. But then a little bit more controlled against CLG, and then taking care of business against Golden Guardians. What are your thoughts on the form of Cloud9 now?
I mean, I think Cloud9's kind of... This is like one of those things where it's I kind of know too much. So I'm like real hesitant. But Cloud9's a shit show, so I don't really...
Oh, you know too much?
Cloud9's, definitely feels bad, man. Definitely feels bad. I mean, I've started making jokes that Sven just clearly has a hot date with the amount of times that he just arbitrarily pushes waves in mid game, or like walks up into waves in the middle of mid lane, and then he just randomly dies. And one of the things that I remember is like, so you guys know that we streamed T1 Academy, right? We screamed scrimmed T1 Academy, right? And 80 Carry kept doing it in like day 1 and 2. By day 3, 4, and 5, I mean, that was fixed. Now, I might have ran out of back pings, and I might have, borderline paused the fucking scrim, asking why, does he have a date he has to get to? But, like, it's really weird that weeks can go by and he just keeps doing this hot date bullshit. And then you have other stuff, like Perks is just playing really poorly. Blabber is not doing anything fancy inside of the games. Like, it's Fudge and Vulcan when he has some pop-off games, but it's basically just Fudge and Vulcan performing well in this split. Emphasis on Fudge.
I mean, even Fudge is starting to perform worse, right? Like, he was performing pretty well. I mean, he's had a lot of good games, and he's also just like, he has these just random moments, where I just feel like, I wonder if it's going to start like affecting him, the environment, And I feel like we saw like inklings of this, right? Like he's just making uncharacteristic mistakes, is what I would say. I mean, he got solo killed twice this weekend, right? And like in the Gwen situation, he just gets a gank. I mean, I think that they should probably push in that wave together. So I don't know like how that communication is going. It's really hard to like put it just on one player, but it is strange that like now we're seeing some weakness with Fudge when he had been dominating the split. Outside of that, like, Malphite versus Gnar lane that he played, I think it's a someday, where he just, like, randomly died at level 2, where it was like, okay, man, like, what's happening here? So what I'm worried about is, like, when you look at C9, normally they seem like a regular season team. Like, Perks is the only player on that team that I would say is, like, just has that trend now of, like, bad in regular season and then, like, pretty good towards the end in playoffs. We saw it with G2 in 2020. We saw it in spring. So like that's the player that you could like maybe give the benefit of the doubt to, but like Perks is definitely not playing well right now. Like that's for sure. Then you're looking at Blabber, and if you look at Blabber's trajectory, normally he smurfs regular season. Like he is absolutely shitting on everyone in regular season, and then he experiences some fall off in playoffs. So the fact that like that's not happening right now is really, really telling, because even like, let's say Perks does look better in playoffs. Even if he does, do they win? I don't even think they win. I think they have to like really like as a whole just start playing on another level, and like it just doesn't feel like they have that same strength that they used to, where you look at the players and it's like, that like Sven and Vulcan were pretty much going to win lane into anyone that was not named maybe FBI Huhi and then Core JJ Tactical. Like they were just going to smash everyone in lane. And that was just going to be a huge point of strength. And Blabber was going to be able to do whatever he wanted because he was generally going to have winning lanes. And he would just be able to be aggressive and he would take good fights. Now I don't even feel like Blabber's taking good fights anymore. Like there's obviously the crab stuff. But even more than that, it just feels like there's situations where the team loses out on something and instantly Blabber will go into a play and the whole team will die. It's like the situation where Perks got dove mid yesterday, where he gets dove mid and it's like a 3v4 straight up and Blabber just runs directly in, the whole team dies. Suddenly you have 4 deaths and that's a huge swing. Like these types of mistakes are going to be catastrophic later on. So I don't know. I'm really, really like shaky on Cloud9. Like I'm not confident at all. Like even if they did end up playing well and winning, like going into Worlds, I feel like unless we saw them start performing game after game after game, they would just seem like they're gonna do MSI 2.0.
Yeah, and I like that point you made there about just being able to rest your hat on that bot lane, creating their own lead consistently. But you know, Vulcan popped off there on the Sunday game, but it just doesn't seem like they've been able to do that. I had the chance to chat with Perks after their victory over CLG, and you know, I do a lot of interviews, and I enjoy a lot for a bunch of different reasons. That was one of the most honest interviews that gave a lot of insight without giving away specifics. Congratulations on your win. It was a 2-game skid before that. How was this one for you?
I mean, this one is pretty good. It's one of our better games this summer. It's because we're struggling, right? Our games are very inconsistent. So getting a strong game, and honestly at this point it doesn't really matter who we face because we've beaten strong teams before. Like for example, I know we are 2 against TL and we've lost to many weak teams. So I think at this point it's just literally like for us and for every other team in NA, just like focusing on your own play and doesn't matter who you face. And this game we did just that. So I'm happy with our play today.
I mean, I think Cloud9 in a best of 5 setting is probably fine. I mean, I just look, the reality is I just don't have almost any faith in the top 5 of North America. Like, I feel like this is not only the weirdest split in LCS history, I also just feel like the same exact problems are found in almost every team. And I feel like EG's like massive win streak / miracle stuff, I don't think it means anything in a best of 5 because it just feels like uber preparation. And it just feels like rotating the same things over and over. So they have this like level of comfort that other teams don't have. And I don't also feel like EG in this weird fucking way, I don't think they have the same kind of pressures that probably come down on them from management and staff the same way all the other teams do. If you're on TL and you're fucking losing, Steve's probably pissed. The management or staff, there's probably like problems going on. Everyone on those teams, TL, fucking 100 Thieves, TSM, Cloud9, they all probably have like big salaries, like minus Fudge. Unironically, right? So the players probably get stressed. There's probably a lot of like self-preservation, and this is all fucking conjecture, but I don't think it's unreasonable. I don't think this is a leap, right? Where if you start making each other look bad, people are gonna start getting pissed at each other. That's just like a fucking thing, right? So it's fucking weird. I think EG is the only team in the top 5 where this probably isn't the case, where self-preservation, job security, and like inner fucking house of cards is not happening. The other 4 teams are literally stacked with people that are probably incentivized to find ways to deflect blame and actually have job security fucking reasons affect their play.
That sounds like a massive fucking advantage. You're making me even more of an EG believer, LS.
Oh my god.
How mad are you gonna be when Jizuke just smurfs on the entire league in playoffs and goes to Worlds? And then plays against T1 and shits on T1 at Worlds. How mad are you?
Oh, no, please.
That's just going to be
T1 at
crazy
Worlds.
reality.
Oh, I'm kidding.
Oh, yeah. Also, T1 at Worlds, yeah.
No. I
think T1 will make
kidding,
Worlds.
Dion. What the fuck?